Real English Lounge.
The art of everyday English.
Can I tell you something embarrassing?
That is basically all we do on this podcast. Go ahead.
I once spent an entire week worrying about a job application I had already submitted. Interview scheduled, everything sent, nothing left to do.
So the logical move was to relax.
The logical move was absolutely to relax. Instead, I spent 7 days asking myself, what if I made a typo? What if they do not like my experience? What if someone else is better? What if I get the job and then I am not good enough?
Wait, you were worried about getting it too?
My brain found a problem for both possible outcomes. I could not lose.
That is the most perfect description of overthinking I have ever heard.
It felt like a full-time job, a very unpleasant, unpaid, completely pointless full-time job.
Welcome to Real English Lounge. I am Claire. Real English Lounge is a podcast where we have real conversations in English about things that actually matter in everyday life. We talk at a natural speed, we use natural expressions, and we do not simplify the conversation just because you are learning.
If you understand most of what we are saying, you are exactly where you need to be.
Before we get into today's topic, a quick challenge. If this podcast is useful for your English, please subscribe on YouTube and leave a comment below.
Today's comment challenge. Tell us one thing you have overthought recently. One sentence in English. We read every single comment.
And if yours makes us laugh or feel very seen, we will reply.
We will definitely reply to anyone who says they worried about a job they had not applied for yet.
Okay, level check. This episode is B1 to B2. If some words are new, do not stop. Your brain picks up more than you think just from the context.
Later in the episode, we have our word tour. Today's words are spiral, catastrophize, ruminate, what if thinking, avoidance, and perspective. We will cover each one with a definition, an example, a mini dialogue, and an upgrade phrase.
Let's start. Ethan, are you actually an overthinker?
I think I am the reason the word was invented.
Most people use the word overthinking to mean thinking too much, but that is not quite right. There is a more specific definition that I find really useful.
What is it?
Overthinking is not just thinking a lot. It is thinking in circles. You are processing the same information over and over without reaching a new conclusion or making a decision.
That is exactly it. I do not arrive anywhere. I just keep going around.
And the key thing is that it feels productive. It feels like you are working on the problem, but you are not actually solving anything.
It is the illusion of doing something useful.
Exactly. And there is a difference between careful thinking and circular thinking. Careful thinking moves forward. You consider options, you gather information, you come to a conclusion. Circular thinking loops.
And the loop never ends on its own.
Almost never. Something usually interrupts it. You get distracted, you get tired, or eventually you just have to act and the decision is made for you.
Which is its own kind of relief.
A very exhausted kind of relief.
Okay, so the job application story. It is a good example of how this actually works in real life. Because from the outside, it looks irrational. Why would you worry about something you cannot change?
But from the inside, it does not feel irrational at all.
It feels completely reasonable. My brain was saying there are things that could go wrong. We should think about them. We should be prepared.
And preparation feels responsible.
It feels like I am being a good, careful person. And then day 3 arrives, and I'm still doing it, and the interview has not even happened yet.
At what point did you realize it was not helping?
When I started worrying about getting the job. That was the moment I thought, okay, this has gone somewhere strange. I was worrying about not getting it, and I was also worrying about getting it and not being good enough. Both possibilities had problems.
So the problem was not the situation. The problem was the thinking pattern.
The situation was neutral. The interview was either going to go well or it was not. But my brain was treating it like a crisis that needed constant attention.
That is what overthinking does. It turns an uncertain situation into an emergency, even when nothing has gone wrong yet.
And probably nothing will go wrong. Statistically, most things we worry about do not happen.
The research on this is striking. Studies suggest that the majority of the things we worry about never actually come true. And of the ones that do, we cope much better than we expected.
So we are bad at both predicting bad things and predicting how we will handle them.
Our our imagination is pessimistic and our resilience is underrated, both at the same time. My overthinking looks different from yours. Mine is more planning based.
What does that mean?
I overthink before I start something. I build elaborate systems and plans instead of just beginning. I once created a spreadsheet to decide which gym to join. With categories: distance, price, equipment, opening hours, class schedule, vibe.
How long did the spreadsheet take?
2 evenings.
And then you joined the gym.
I never joined a gym. I got so deep into the analysis that the decision started to feel enormous. And then I felt too tired to make it.
So the planning became avoidance.
Completely. And that is a version of overthinking that does not feel like overthinking. It feels like being thorough, being responsible, doing your research.
But you were really just postponing the thing you were slightly afraid of.
Which was making a choice and having it be wrong, or wasting money, or starting something and quitting. All of those felt like failure, and the spreadsheet protected me from having to risk that.
So underneath the thinking, there was fear.
There almost always is. I think people focus too much on the thinking and not enough on what is underneath it.
What do you mean?
Overthinking is usually not a thinking problem. It is a fear problem.
Wait, say that again.
Overthinking is usually not a thinking problem. It is a fear problem.
Okay, keep going.
If you dig underneath all those looping thoughts, there is almost always a fear. Fear of failing, fear of embarrassment, fear of making the wrong choice, fear of what other people will think.
And the thinking is the brain's attempt to manage that fear.
Exactly. The brain believes that if it thinks long enough, it will find certainty. It will find a way to guarantee that things go well. And so it keeps going.
But certainty never comes.
It never does. Life does not offer certainty. And so the brain keeps searching for something it will never find.
So you can tell yourself to stop 100 times, but if the fear is still there, the thoughts just come back.
Every time, which is why telling yourself to just stop thinking about it almost never works.
You have to address what is underneath.
You have to ask, what am I actually afraid of here? And then ask whether that fear is based on evidence or based on imagination.
Okay, let's get practical. What actually helps when you are stuck in a loop?
Tool 1, the evidence question. When you notice you are spiraling, ask yourself, what evidence do I actually have? Not fears, not what ifs, real evidence.
Because usually the answer is very little.
Usually, almost none. The email from your boss says, "Can we talk tomorrow?" That is all you know. Everything else, the theories, the worst case scenarios, the imagined disappointment on their face, you invented all of that.
I have done this. I once convinced myself I had made a terrible mistake at work, replayed a conversation about 15 times, reread an email I had sent.
What actually happened?
The meeting was about a completely different project. Nothing I had worried about came up at all.
15 mental replays, 0 relevant information.
An impressive waste of an afternoon.
Tool 2, scheduled worry time. This sounds strange, but it works. You choose one specific time of day, say 15 minutes at 6 in the evening, and that is when you are allowed to worry. When a worry comes up outside that window, you tell yourself, I will think about this at 6.
And somehow it waits.
Often it does. And when 6 arrives, many of the worries have either resolved themselves or no longer feel urgent.
Because they were never actually urgent. The brain just labeled them urgent.
The brain is a very unreliable alarm system. It treats many things as emergencies that are not.
Tool 3.
Name it and it shrinks. Research in psychology shows that naming an emotion, actually saying or writing the word for what you are feeling, reduces its intensity. The act of labeling creates a small distance between you and the feeling.
So instead of just feeling it, you say, I am anxious about this, or I am afraid that this will go wrong.
And suddenly, it is a thing you are observing rather than a thing you are inside of.
That is the most useful thing I have heard in a while.
It does not remove the feeling, but it changes your relationship to it.
Which is often enough.
Time for the word tour. 6 words from today's conversation and a few you might not have heard before.
Definition, natural example, mini dialogue, and an upgrade phrase so you can use each word like a native speaker.
Word 1, spiral. S-P-I-R-A-L. It can be a noun or a verb.
As a noun, a spiral is a shape that curves around a central point, getting wider or tighter as it goes. But in English, we also use it to describe a situation that gets worse and worse in a continuous this way.
Example, after losing her job, she felt herself entering a spiral of self-doubt and anxiety.
Mini dialogue. Are you okay? You seem distracted.
I started thinking about one thing, and now I am spiraling.
About what?
I genuinely cannot remember how it started.
Upgrade phrase. Instead of saying, I am overthinking again, try, I notice I am starting to spiral. I need to step back.
Word 2, catastrophize. K-A-T-A-S-T-R-O-P-H-I-Z-E. Verb.
To catastrophize is to imagine that the worst possible outcome is going to happen, even when there is no strong evidence for it. It is a pattern of thinking, not a single thought.
He has a habit of catastrophizing before presentations. By the time he walks into the room, he has already imagined everything going wrong.
Mini dialogue. What did the doctor say?
She said I should come back next week for a follow-up.
And you are already catastrophizing, aren't you?
I have already researched 12 possible diagnoses. Yes.
Upgrade phrase. Instead of saying, I am imagining the worst, try, I am catastrophizing right now. Let me come back to what I actually know.
Word 3, ruminate. R-U-M-I-N-A-T-E. Verb.
To ruminate means to think deeply and repeatedly about something, usually something difficult or troubling. The image is of an animal chewing the same food over and over. Your mind keeps returning to the same thought.
Example, she spent the whole evening ruminating about the argument, replaying every sentence in her head.
Did you sleep well?
Not really. I kept ruminating about something I said at work.
Something that matters, or something your brain decided matters.
At 2 in the morning, impossible to tell the difference.
Upgrade phrase. Instead of saying, I cannot stop thinking about it, try, I have been ruminating about this for hours. I think I need to talk it through with someone.
Word 4, what if thinking. This is a phrase, not a single word.
What if thinking is a pattern of imagining negative hypothetical scenarios. What if this goes wrong? What if they do not like me? What if I make a mistake? It is a very common form of anxiety.
Example, his what if thinking kept him from applying for the promotion. Before he even tried, he had already imagined every reason it would not work.
Mini dialogue. Are you going to go to the event?
I do not know. What if nobody talks to me? What if I say something weird?
What if it is actually fine?
That one did not occur to me.
Upgrade phrase. Instead of saying I keep imagining bad things, try I am in a what if thinking loop. I need to ask myself what the realistic outcome actually is.
Word 5, avoidance. A-V-O-I-D-A-N-C-E. Noun.
Avoidance is the act of staying away from something, a situation, a feeling, a responsibility, usually because it feels uncomfortable or threatening.
Example, his avoidance of difficult conversations was making things worse at home.
Mini dialogue. Have you replied to that email yet?
Not yet.
That was 3 weeks ago.
I am aware. It is pure avoidance. I know I have to do it. I just keep not doing it.
Upgrade phrase. Instead of saying I am ignoring it, try I am in avoidance mode with this. I need to figure out what I am actually afraid of.
Last word. Word 6, perspective. P-E-R-S-P-E-C-T-I-V-E. Noun.
Perspective is your particular way of seeing or understanding something, shaped by your experience, your position, your values. To gain perspective is to step back and see something more clearly or from a wider view.
Example, talking to her friend helped her gain perspective. The problem was real, but it was not as catastrophic as it had felt at midnight.
Mini dialogue. I feel like this is a disaster.
Let's get some perspective. Will this matter in a year?
Probably not.
In a month?
Maybe not even that. Okay, I see what you are doing. Upgrade phrase. Instead of saying I need to calm down, try I think I have lost perspective on this. Let me step back and look at it from a wider view.
That is the word tour for today. 6 words: spiral, catastrophize, ruminate, what if thinking, avoidance, perspective.
Use them this week. Actually say them. That is how they become yours.
All right, let's close the episode. We talked about what overthinking actually is. Not just thinking a lot, but thinking in circles without reaching a new conclusion.
We looked at how overthinking feels productive, but usually is not, and how it is almost always driven by fear underneath, not by the situation on the surface.
And we covered 3 tools: the evidence question, scheduled worry time, and naming the emotion.
The question of the week. What is one thing you have overthought recently? Leave it in the comments. In English, 1 sentence.
And if this episode helped your English today, if you followed the conversation, if you learned something new, if you spent 18 minutes thinking in English, that is real progress.
Please subscribe on YouTube, give this episode a like, and share it with someone who needs to hear it.
We will see you in the next episode. I am Claire.
I am Ethan. And if you catch yourself spiraling today, ask yourself, what evidence do I actually have? The answer is usually very little.
Real English Lounge. See you next time. Your English journey doesn't end here.
Keep listening, keep learning, and keep speaking.
Choose your next conversation.
We'll see you in the next episode of Real English Lounge.